All right. I will try this again at 6:01 p.m. Call to order September 2nd, 2025 Business Development Services Committee. All those who are supposed to be here are here and present. First, or second order of business is public comment. Public comment. Reading and approval of minutes.
Motion to approve as submitted.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Like sign, hearing none, that carries. On to reports or communications or communication.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm just going to keep it brief tonight and just really report on one item, and that is just to let you know we've started issuing permits out there for the soccer stadium. So we're excited about that and excited to see that move forward. If you have any questions, I'm glad to answer any.
Just have one really basic question. Do you know if the cigar place closed?
I have heard that if they hadn't closed
The one in the old
already,
family video?
yeah, if they hadn't closed yet, that today would have been their last day, but they may have closed already. I think they were going to try to close by September 1.
Okay. I was just curious. It looked like that attendance had dropped off, so I assumed that.
But Crispy Crust is getting in gear to open up in that same center there, taking the spot of Hungry Out.
Ah, yes. I went there the other day because they have the sign out and it said, I looked inside and everything was still Hungry Alley's. So I was like, I guess they're not open yet. So
It's a problem.
off to Pizza Factory I went. That's all I've got. Thank you, Dave.
Sounds good.
All right. Unfinished business A is an ordinance to rezone 25.8 acre tract located at Fork Shoals Road and Ashmore Bridge. And portions of a couple different tax maps there from C2 to RM district. What's the anyone?
Staring at.
Is there a motion or anything? David, you want to walk through it real quick?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this is just a matter that came up last month that was held over to this month. It's rezoning a property for a mixed residential project down at the intersection of Fork Shoals Road and Ashmore Bridge Road. It actually represents a down zoning going from commercial to the multifamily residential. And there'll be various traffic or road improvements and associated with the project. And if you have any questions about it, the representative for the project is here tonight, and he's glad to answer any questions that you might have about it.
Mr. Chairman, I got to ask my questions last time. You weren't here in attendance, so we left it here in council or in committee. So I had my questions answered last time.
Taft, you good?
I guess we need to go ahead and make a motion before we get into discussion. Mr. Allgood, you want to make it?
Sure. I'll make a motion that we send the ordinance to rezone a 25.8 acre tract located at Fork Shoals Road and Ashmore Bridge Road. Can I go make both of them? No, one at a time. Forward that on to full council for the rezoning.
And for the sake of discussion, I'll go ahead and second that.
Discussion, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Having watched how this application has unfolded over the past month, I think it is an example of how not to try and annex and rezone property, both from the neighborhood side as well as from the development side. I will say that I have been disappointed in some of the presentations from both sides. I feel that there has been misinformation that has been put out into the atmosphere. I was at the county council meeting a couple of weeks ago, listened to some of the things that nearby residents were saying, had some discussions with those folks, but it is very clear that the residents of the area who are county residents, not city residents, I need to point that out, and the developer really need to come together to see how they can work as neighbors. And I know that there have been some discussions, but I think that those discussions need to continue before we get to full council. And I'd like to know when we get to full council what the results of those meetings are. I would like to, at the appropriate time, Mr. Chairman, move to amend Mr. Allgood's motion. And David may need your help on this, that we put some tight language in um, that the development that is being presented, we've had over the past couple of years some some projects that may have been presented one way but executed in another. So I want to make sure that what is being presented here uh, stays the way that it is being represented. So I can either make that motion now, that we tighten that up, or I can make that motion when we get to full council. But I think that we need to make sure that this project, as is being presented, is locked in and doesn't change in terms of that scope. Does that make sense?
100%.
So, Mr. Matney, you mentioned a meeting at county council. Was there an agenda item on county council relating to this project, or would just people?
No, the agenda item specifically was talking about cluster housing developments within the county and proposed ordinance that county council is considering. And so the residents of one of the subdivisions that actually spoke to this committee a month ago presented some information to county council relating to this project. And at the end of the council meeting, one of the council members saw me and brought me over to have a discussion with some of those neighborhood residents.
Mr. Matney, I'm happy to either rescind the motion, or if you'd like to make an amendment, I am okay with that as well.
Yeah, I would just move to amend the original motion that we, through the Business and Development Services Department. David, would you rather I do this now, or would you rather we fine tune the amendment for full council? I can see Seth with out of the corner of my eye saying, "Please do this at full council." So I'll do it at that point. That way we can get the language refined for an amendment to the motion. So I'll pull back, Mr. Allgood.
Okay, so now I'm even more confused.
No, it just goes back to the original motion.
So the original motion is a forward to full council.
Correct.
Okay. So the question that I was going to pose is, do you want it to stay here for another month?
No, I
do
think
this,
it needs to, I think it
or does it
needs
need
to
to go
move forward. I think for both the developer and the residents, there needs to be some sort of resolution. And we don't need to continue putting it off. So I would say go ahead and move forward, and we can fine tune language for an amendment between now and full council.
And so based on the nod from Seth and looking at David, we do not need to amend this any further, that you understand the instructions that you need to make.
We do. And I can give you one additional piece of information that hasn't probably really been discussed much yet. The Spinks company who is selling this property to the applicant, they have very particular language in their agreement with them and their contract with them that if the developer falls out of the deal or doesn't do it as has been presented, then they are going to seek cooperation with the city to zone it back to the C2 district. But we will certainly get with our city attorney and see if there's some language that we can massage into the ordinance and have that ready for council.
Thank you, Mr. Deerhog. I like what Spinks is talking about, and I think that having some companion language from the city would just help bolster that.
Mhm.
I guess I'll add a few things. One is this highlights the imperfection of the way things work in terms of the cooperation between the county, um, DOT, school systems, all these different things in terms of how this planning goes. I mean, I can understand the frustration in in a lot of different ways. Um, I don't know what you do about that, just quite frankly, but it, it's a, it's just a product of the situation we're in. I have concerns. I raised concerns in my conversation with the developer, and I would like to hear, maybe not tonight, but at some point from the chief, just about service concerns out there. This is a big development. We got a lot going on out there. We don't have any stations out there. We don't have anything out there. Not that we can't get there necessarily, but that's out there. It's about as far as you can get in terms of getting down there, and Ashmore Bridge can get quite clustered up pretty quick. So I have some concerns just about service coverage. And the other thing is, I'm appreciative of some of the traffic things they're trying to do locally, but here's what I can tell you specifically without a doubt, that the development on that end is causing more and more issues for some of the major intersections, like for us at West Butler. I mean, yeah, West Butler and Ashmore Bridge. I can sit through that light 3 and 4 times sometimes, some nights. And I know that it's the development on the other end of Ashmore Bridge Road, because when the bridge was out, man, that was a beautiful thing. I have never had such an easy time making a left turn onto Ashmore Bridge Road in my life. And when that bridge was out, my wife, being the smarter, more observant of the two of us, was the one that brought it to my attention. She's like, "Did you notice?" And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." So, I mean, I understand traffic studies are 500 feet or whatever, how many thousand feet in every direction, but this, the continued development out there in the city, in the county, everywhere, it's putting strain. It's just causing more issues. And, you know, it, y'all are out there weekly, a couple times a week at that intersection. Yeah. People are crazy. So, and I think it's just part of it is a frustration of you sat there for 3 times and you're frustrated and irritated. You want to go home and you do something stupid in your car and get people hurt. So those are, those are my big concerns. Um, that being said, rental properties are some of the most financially productive properties for the city, and I'm not unaware of that as well. But that's not the only reason we're up here, opposed to a lot of other people's views about why we're up here. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it going to council. I think it needs to go to council. It's, no problem with that, but I have some big reservations with it. So, we have a motion and a second. We don't have an amendment or anything like that, right? So we have instructions. All right. So, all those in favor of forwarding to council?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, we'll move it on to council. All right, unfinished business 2, the ordinance to provide annexation for 7.2 acre portion of property owned by Take Heart Church located at 1330 Fork Shoals Road by 100% petition method and establish a zoning classification of RM. Mr. Deerhog, you want to give us any background or information on this, or anything else you need to say or do?
Just again, we looked at this last month. This is part of the same project that we just discussed. This is just a additional piece they are acquiring and would need to be annexed into the city.
Okay.
Move it forward to full council.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Hearing none, motion carries. New business. Ordinance to provide annexation for the property owned by Donald W. Gilland and Ann G. Burrows located at 314 Hamby Drive by the 100% petition method and establish the zoning classification of R12. Deerhog.
All right. This is just a single family property, has a residence on it. It's actually owned by our very own Cindy Miller, who is the represent for Ann Burrows and her uncle, right? And her uncle, Donald Gillen. And the main reason they'd like to annex this into the city is so they can have trash service through the city.
You think we need to hold this?
I have some concerns. How often do I get to be first?
I'll make a motion that we forward this to full council's for approval.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Carries. Is there a second public comment? Please state your name and your address.
Jason Kraling, 234 Devon Drive, Mauldin, South Carolina. With the looking at the future of Mauldin, looking at the city center and the zonings that we have, I'd just like to make a recommendation on the record to extend the city center zoning up through Murray all the way to the recent property that the city bought, that whole section there under the same zoning that we have for the city center with those same requirements. Just a recommendation. I just wanted that on the record. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? All right, committee concerns. Yes, sir.
Just want to go ahead and bring this up very quickly, since we're meeting tonight. But the wife of former Mayor R.C. Jones passed away last week, and she was laid to rest today. So I would ask that the family of Andrew Jones be kept in everybody's prayers.
What do we say on adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. We are adjourned at 6:17.
Call to order the Public Works Committee meeting for September 2nd. It is, 6:22 p.m. I have with me Ms. Carol King and Mr. Michael Reynolds. All right, and first of all, any public comment? Anything online? All right, let's move on. Well, what do I hear? Reading approval of minutes?
So moved.
Motion to have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Let's have it. Move on. Reports to committee, reports and communications, city officers. Mr. Fleeman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gonna just kind of run through what's going on with the department, give you a little update and move into stormwater at the end. Today, because of the holiday, we had double routes of sanitation. We had staff from all the other divisions driving and riding trucks like we normally do on double routes. Give you a little heads up that, last year we had the highest tonnage of trash on record. Through August this year, we've seen an 8% increase, so another record year. Sewer, we're 66% through the year. They're already 80% to their goal of their CCTV and cleaning activities, and 75% of their goal of manhole inspection. So for a third year in a row, we'll meet or exceed our goals set in the collection system maintenance operation manual that we submitted to REWA. Parks is finishing up a beautification project at fire headquarters. We've been kind of knocking out these beautification projects one after another. The thought was to, we kind of have a theme at City Hall and the Cultural Center with the type of mulch, the type of plantings. And so they really just wanted to tie the fire station headquarters in, because my directive was it's just as important as the building. So, lastly, they're also working to get everything perfect for the upcoming barbecue festival, which will be the weekend after next. streets, doing the normal street stuff, digging ditches, installing curbs, rebuilding catch basins, cleaning pipes, et cetera, et cetera. They're just knocking it out. I couldn't be more proud. Next month marks 6 years of me here in the city, and I can tell you that the people that we have and the crews and the level of work that they're putting out beats any time in the past. We're still on an upward trajectory, and I couldn't be more proud. Now the bulk of what we're here for is stormwater. During August, we saw several continuous weeks, I guess would be the way to say it, of heavy rainfall. In public works, whenever it rains, everyone calls. Hey, I got a stormwater problem. It's never been like this before. It's kind of something we're used to. With some of these issues, I've been asked by administration, council, and residents to kind of bring something before you or bring something to your attention. And for the sake of that, I will do it. I'm not actually looking for any actions. This is really just informative. At 28 Oakland Drive, we had there's 120 feet of 24-inch corrugated metal pipe transects the backyard of the residence. The resident purchased the house this year. The sinkholes that are caused by the rusting out of the metal pipe were present at the time of purchase. The pipe connects Dale Grove through the property across Oakland and then ultimately to Gilder Creek. In accordance with the stormwater policy, I went out, I assessed it, gave her a quote for the material costs. Is just, hey, in accordance with the policy, you pay for the pipe, we'll go ahead and lay it. The resident didn't like that idea and asked for an exemption to the city's stormwater policy, to which I explained I cannot do. And in her words, she respectfully asked that the matter be elevated beyond the department level and formally presented to city council. The situation is no different from any of the others in the past. We've gone through the process, used the policy, used the ordinances, and there's nothing special about this one. And in every situation like this before, when the resident has purchased the pipe, it's worked out perfectly fine. Like I said, I'm not looking for any direction and I'm not looking for any action. For the sake of this was a demand, I can say that I did it.
Just feel free to give him my phone number, person. With that being said, what was the total cost of materials?
It was just around $4,000. It's just because of the size of the pipe being a 24.
So probably total cost of there to have it done would probably be 15 to 20.
Yeah.
To have it done outside of us doing that. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yes, but I'm not gonna say any names. So the previous owner,
There.
what's that?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So the previous owner had reached out to me before they sold the property, and I explained the stormwater policy and I explained the procedure, and he took it upon himself to, rather than follow the city's rules, because he above them, purchased 3 sticks of concrete pipe that's the wrong size and put them next to the sinkhole. And when he sold the property to this lady, told her that the city would put the pipe in. It's concrete pipe. It's the wrong size. I'd have to buy fittings. It doesn't address the issue. It's just, it was there when she bought it. So the next is 401 Knollwood. Now 401, you directed me to look into it, Mr. Kraling. I believe they sent a PowerPoint. I don't know if it made it to council members, but they did send it to Seth and Greg and myself, and the owner did come up here and speak with his wife at a council meeting. 401 Knollwood. So when you come into Knollwood, it's actually both 303 and 401. They're the first 2 houses past the pond on your left. Basically, the issue is that with heavy rains, there's no ditch, there's no infrastructure on that side of the street. And all of the stormwater just kind of pushes down on the south side of Knollwood and then ultimately down the driveway of 303 into 401's yard, down 401's driveway, and just kind of conveys down the hill as it goes back towards the drainage creek. We went in, we put curbs on that side of the street, and then we went back, and then we made the curbs even taller. We put in driveway berms. We've cleaned the ditch. We've done everything we could do. And, the residents still sought some other resolution. So administration and I reached out to KCI as our on-call stormwater engineer and says, hey, here's a problem. Take a look at it. Go ahead and quote us out what it would cost to investigate, model, design, and permit a solution. Permit's the important thing. Stormwater policy that we have that we've been operating under only covers existing infrastructure. Nowhere in that policy does it discuss putting in infrastructure where there is none. It directs public works to dig ditches, to pipe dry ditches, to replace corrugated or rotting pipe. Maybe upsize a pipe, and that's kind of pushing it, but not going in and putting in new infrastructure. New infrastructure is a permitted activity. It has to get through the county and what formerly was DHEC, now DES. And these things, they carry liability. I could go out there and say, hey, I think it needs to be a 24, but the second it floods their house and it's not a permitted activity, the city's liable. So, for the sake of doing everything on the up and up, we contacted KCI, asked them to put together a proposal. They came back with the same kind of structure that they did during the stormwater task order system that we had. They sent us a proposal on the 15th, and it was $26,900. And that is to do the engineering, the design, the permitting. The anticipated construction, because I know you would probably ask that question. I would say somewhere around $65,000 to $90,000 would be the construction cost. The reason being is that there's a lot of variables involved in this. My professional opinion, the solution would be a combination of curbing, catch basin, pipes, and on the south side of Knollwood where there is no infrastructure. And then you'd have to utilize the 24 that splits 401 and 403. But in order to add more water to a system that's at capacity, you would have to upsize, which means we'd have to acquire easements on private property, take ownership of pipes not on the public right away, upsize it, as well as upsize our infrastructure. The other variables involved, you have the potential development on Knollwood before you get to this area. Any potential infrastructure that they may be putting on the road, any road cuts, any curbing, any piping, we don't know what they're doing. And then the hardest part, and this is something that's not really intuitive to someone who doesn't do the work all the time, is, yeah, I want to put a pipe here and I want to put stormwater infrastructure. I got a plan. It's great. Let's go. 90% of the time, there's no space to do that. There's telecommunications, there's gas lines, there's water lines. And when you're dealing with something like stormwater where you have to have the perfect grade for it to flow at a certain rate, it has to go to a specific place and it has to go to a specific slope. And with other infrastructure there, we then run into the obstacle of, all right, do I have to pay them to move theirs, or will I be buying some of their front lawn to put the pipe over here? So these are all the variables that are ultimately going to influence the cost of doing something to address the concerns of these two houses. So we're at a point now where I can make a recommendation, and perhaps maybe you guys might ask me to bring it before committee next month with some sort of recommendation. I certainly can do that. It's not something that we've dealt with before in the stormwater policy. Like I said, we've never had to do new infrastructure. We've always just been like, let's fix the problems, not let's start designing and building more. There's really no playbook for it. So, this is about the only thing I'm talking about tonight, where you guys think about it, shoot some emails, give us some guidance on where we should go next with this. But all in all, out the door, you're looking north of $100,000 to address the concerns.
Just to be clear, this will only positively impact one house and really one driveway, because the water is sheet flowing down the driveway from Devon and from Knollwood, and it's running down their driveway into the backyard. This would prevent much of that.
Yeah.
Potentially.
But I've said this many times before. Stormwater is one of those things where you got to start it at the bottom and work your way to the top. And this is the problem where we're starting at the top. And whatever we do is going to make more problems the further it goes until it actually hits the surface water body, which is off of Merwood. So you're going to be, yeah, so you're going to go all the way through Knollwood. So it's just going to be, you're going to see a lot of me doing this exact same thing, property after property.
Questions?
You mentioned curbing because that's typically one of the things that we would do. Is that something that would be beneficial in front of 401? Because I don't think the road goes straight to the yard.
We installed curbing.
Oh, there's
Big-
curbing there now. I know
big-
there is next door. I didn't realize there
Yeah,
wasn't.
we had we actually did concrete curbing, and
Okay.
the resident was like, listen, it's great, but it's not tall enough. And our curb machine can only go so high. So
Right.
what we did is we went back and put asphalt on top
That's right. Okay.
of the concrete. And that's why, like, when you drive past it, it just kind of blends in.
Does.
It's
That's
one of the
right.
tallest curbs in.
And the berms there coming off of Braddock.
Yep.
Yeah. But I guess when it pours down, it's not, yeah,
And then the last obstacle of turning the
I
camera
remember now.
around
it does blend in.
is if we were to do anything with ditching,
So,
go all the way to the catch basin. They have enormous trees blocking the catch basin or blocking our access. So,
what about up the street?
up the street to capture it. Well, the thing is that, yeah.
At that mailbox?
So there is a ditch there. And then right before it gets to 303, the ditch turns out into the street, just followed on by the tree. And right at the tree, the ditch dumps out at the street, and then all the flow runs in the street. 303,
Is there flow coming out of that pipe? Because I know at one time it was,
this is basically everything coming
Homeowner.
off Wellington, Devon. It kind of flows and then hits the south side of Knollwood and flows.
Mr. Duncan, could you go up to that mailbox where you were at the drive? That pipe.
Yeah, so flow does come through that pipe. The gentleman who used to live there did make us do some work to prevent it from going into the pond, anything coming down the streets.
It was kind of stopped up at one point in time, so I don't know if it has good flow or not. So that was my question, and if that would help with that ditch.
Yeah, ultimately, I mean, the ditch itself does convey,
Downhill.
it conveys water well. It's just when it hits to the tree, it diverts into the street. 303, you can almost see it on the Google Street View, is that, I think it was like 2016. That house was all forested. And then they cleared the forest and built the house. And so the flow,
Yes.
yeah, right there.
Yes.
Yep. And so that kind of put the water into the street. And then it goes to the lowest point, which is the driveway at 401.
There a little curb there?
The driveway berm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking there was.
Yeah.
Got it. We put that in, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we just put that in. That's not that old. Yeah.
Well, that was the prior owner. That was put in. Our owner lived across the street.
Yeah. And so that's a 15 from that catch basin to the next. And so we have identified that as, well, that's one thing we could do. If it's under heavy storms, it does kind of back up there. And so we can upsize that 15 to an 18, but it just pushes the constriction point further back.
better, but not.
No, I mean, it's one of those, it's going to be an ongoing issue. I'd really love to know what they're going to do with the development. Because this would be a perfect uh, project to tie in with what they're doing rather than to do something, have them do something and then have to come back and do it again. That's good to know.
Good explanation. Thank you.
Oh, and then the last one is I was asked to look into Bishop Heights. If you're familiar with Bishop Heights, it's an older neighborhood. It's one of the few neighborhoods in the city where the entirety of the stormwater system and the street right away is comprised of ditches. Starting about 2 years ago, we went in actively to address some of their flooding issues. To date, we have dug out and cleaned, rebuilt 40% of the neighborhood ditches. We also replaced a number of the driveway pipes. We've upsized them, replaced them. They collapsed. They were corrugated. We put in plastic. When you look at this from an aerial view, the bulk of the stormwater concerns are all on the western side of the development. And I can say that on the western side, we've done, because that's that's where it dumps to the pond. We have done all of the ditches, done them all. The ones we haven't are the ones where, and that's the fault with a lot of that neighborhood, is that they have this conveyance system of concrete, like canal channels that split houses and split the backyards. And there's nothing we can do. We don't have access. We don't own it. People have sheds. It's a mess. And then there are, down at, was it 434 Bishop? That's the gentleman who works for Greenville County,
Bill.
He has the pipes that basically everything's dumping into, and they're undersized, and they're on the interior of his property. We looked at this when we started with our stormwater task master plan with the task order. It was a project that we applied for grant funding. It wasn't accepted. The solution was and is the only solution was to do a culmination of catch basin piping and curbing throughout the entire neighborhood. And at the time, that was about 2 years ago, it was just short of $3 million. So I can only imagine now that we're creeping up into 3 to 4, but it would be a rebuild of the neighborhood. I don't recommend a patchwork approach to putting curbs in some places. Like we've done this time and time again. What you do is you just push it onto somebody else. The areas that are the worst in the neighborhood, the ditches have been dug, the pipes have been replaced. I don't have a recommendation at the time, other than potentially looking for more grant funds to do a neighborhood-wide revitalization effort.
That was my question. Are we still looking at grants? And I'm sure we would. Question. I guess only with this, we were a little over, a little more back at the end of the year than we expected. So I guess with our stormwater opportunities that we can maybe do some small projects on, please feel free to bring those to us here to, because anywhere we can make an improvement, we'd like to make an improvement from stormwater standpoint. Understanding we can't do a $3 million project.
Yep.
But where we can, smaller projects, we definitely would be open to listening to.
Yeah, and we've been doing a lot in-house. I put the pipe replacements and the weekly updates and the monthly reports. We've been pretty much averaging a little over a mile of ditch work a year, and we'll just continue at it.
Unless we don't get more hurricanes, right?
Yeah, fingers crossed.
All right. Okay. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Fleeman? All right. Thank you, Mr. Fleeman. Let's see here. What do we have next? Oh, sidewalk, Miller Road. Yay. Present that or?
What you have before you is a request to approve an ordinance to convey real property to the GLDTC for the Miller Road sidewalk project. It's been a long time, long time. But if you remember, in 2023, we received $1 million for the installation of sidewalk from on Miller Road from what is that? Old Mill all the way down up to connecting portions just past Corn, and then further up all the way to Military Fire Station. Shortly thereafter, we did receive $190,000 for engineering and architectural activities from the GLTC to assist in the development of this project. Finally, Transco has completed design drawings and they submitted to us. In the case of the fire station, we do need to convey 1,676 square feet to the is it GLDTC? It is GLD. They're packaging it all together. Yeah, which will ultimately go to the DOT, but we're conveying a portion of our property so that they can increase their right of way to construct a sidewalk on the Miller Road Fire Station property. So what you have before you is a request to send this through council for the mayor to sign an ordinance to convey real property. My recommendation is to sign this thing.
All right, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to forward to full council with a recommendation of approval and ordinance to convey real property to Greenville, to GLDTC for the Miller Road sidewalk project.
Second.
Motion, I have a second. Any discussion?
I'd just like to add that, yes, it dates back to 2023, but it actually dates back 12 plus years of talk, trying to get this done. So, I just have to add, in the words of the mayor, get her done. Yeah, this has been a long time coming, so that's exciting to see there's some movement there. Thank you.
Anything else? If not, all those in favor of sending this to full council, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. The ayes have it. All right. Now let's go on to public comment. Second one. Anybody? Committee concerns? You're on adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. We are adjourned.
All right, we will move on to the third and final committee meeting, Public Safety. It is 6:43. All members of committee are present, as well as our fire chief, our police chief, and Ms. Dorado is back, so it's good to see her in the back with her agenda item coming up in a few minutes. We'll go on to the public comment, first public comment of the night. Seeing none, hearing none, reading and approval of the minutes from August the 4th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion or corrections? Hearing none, seeing none. All those in favor of approving the minutes from August the 4th, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Moving into the reports from our city officers, we have Chief McCone up first.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of committee. We'll do some quick updates on fire department side. Budget, which is like I said, we just started in July, so we're right on track where we need to be for the year. We've had a total calls as of this evening, 3,768 calls of service to the fire department. Average what we done for the August training was 1,128 hours. So, and it is lower than it has in the past due to the heat and all that, trying not to exert a lot of the guys and stuff. And we will be working on fire prevention for the month of October. The week, October 5th through the 11th will be an actual week, but we do it for the whole month. So we'll have schools, churches, and all that. We'll go out and do fire prevention, puppet shows, talks, touch a truck, stuff like that.
Good times. Any questions for Chief? All right, thank you for the update.
Yeah.
Judge Dorado.
Good evening, Madam Chair and committee. As you mentioned, I have not been able to be present the last couple months. So before we get started, I would like to just thank you for your understanding on the time that I was absent, and just know that I appreciate it.
100%.
As far as everything judicial with the new fiscal year that began July 1, I just wanted to give you an update from the annual judicial survey that we submit to court administration for the previous fiscal year. So regarding the fiscal year 24-25, Mauldin Court's total of all fees and assessments were $421,696.92. Of that total, the amount retained by the city was $169,775. The remaining balance goes to the South Carolina State Treasurer for disbursement for their state fees, surcharges, and funds. Since it's September, it's set off debt time again. So we are in the process of running reports and running the initial letters. Those are to go out to individuals that owe outstanding fines. The deadline is September 22nd. I'm hoping to get those out by the beginning of next week. Once those are uploaded to the municipal association, we'll work with them to try to make collection either through direct payments from the individual, if not through attachment to their South Carolina income tax return. As of now, we're set to set out about 750 letters. We have about 441,000 in outstanding debt that's owed to the, so hopefully we'll be able to recover some of that. And lastly, the rest of the week I will be at the South Carolina Summary Court Judges Association. So I look forward to getting some updates from the Chief Justice, Court Administration, and SEDMV for anything that's up and coming as far as statutes or orders. And that's it.
Judge, so with the debt collection, if those letters go out the end of September, do you get the information? Does it go through the municipal association to get to DOR?
Yeah, so what happens is
Like in
it's
December?
till November 14th
Okay.
to pay direct. And then if they come in and pay direct, then we take that off the ledger for them. They release it December 1st to the Department of Revenue.
I thought, okay, perfect.
Yep.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Just
good.
one quick one. Is that number higher or lower than typical?
That's about normal from where we are. Yeah, we always range about that. Anywhere, we're like always in about the 700 range.
Thank you.
Yeah, we prefer when people get the letters, then they call and then they'll pay. So that's always the preferred method.
Thank you.
All right. We have no unfinished business, so we will go straight into, oh, Chief, I got all excited about debt collection and just moved right on. You know, that's dear to my heart. You take all the time you need, Chief.
I've got a long one. No, just kidding. I was just, Ms. King, Mr. Crayley, Mr. Allgood. The Explorers just recently went to Georgia and went to a competition and won multiple awards. So what we're going to do at the next council meeting, we're going to have them present to be recognized. They're doing a great job. Their instructors are phenomenal and spent a lot of time with them. We just completed the CALIA online assessment this past week, and we passed. So we're moving on to the on-site assessment, which will be in October. There's a couple, and I'll give y'all advance notice. The assessor will probably want to talk to a couple council members, talk about CALIA and everything. So I'll give you notice, so you're not getting a strange number. Then after that, we'll go to Arizona, where we'll get our renewal certification in March. The budget looks good. Hands-free law went into effect yesterday. It's pretty hard. They're just getting up until March 1st. After March 1st, they'll be issuing citations. One of the great things that we got with Axon was it interacts with our CAD system, and on our city website, we have surveys, and since January, we only got 2 on there. Axon, what they do is it interacts with CAD, gets the information from the calls, and just depending on what kind of call it is, it sends out a survey to the person that called in, and in less than 3 months, we got 69 surveys, and most of those were good. A couple of them weren't the greatest, but the majority of them are not worried about crime. the little things that, we see as important. National Night Out, it was changed till September the 20th from 2 to 6. We're still going strong with it, getting it set up. So we'll have bounce houses, zooms, food. Have a guy that does, they'll be doing balloons and, bubbles. But yeah, we'll have all kinds of stuff there for, the
Did most of the folks that were going to participate in August, are they able to be good?
it.
Well, that's expected, yeah.
But,
Good.
I think they were ready for it when weather was so bad during that time, because I think everybody in the Golden Strip, changed.
Had
their-
to, yeah.
So what we're gonna do is, instead of having it not in October, we're gonna do it September 20th, which is Saturday from 2 to 6 in the afternoon, which hopefully we'll get a lot of people coming. We got plenty of food.
Yeah, it's being advertised well too, so that's good. Any questions for Chief Miller that I rudely overlooked?
And I can get you all, I just forgot to get it. I can get y'all copies of the surveys, the, charts and stuff.
That'd be good to see. Just kind of curious of, yeah, what the responses were. Yeah. Cool. All right. Don't think we have any other questions for now. Or are you back up next after? Okay, now that we have no unfinished business, we'll go into new business with Chief Miller again on the school resource officer grant and agreement with Green Charter.
So there's a lot of stuff here, and I'm gonna read word for word, so if you get bored, let me know. One of the things that the, governor, one of his plans and promises was put SROs in all the public schools. He's right on track with getting all those covered, and last year they opened it up to charter schools. I'm sorry, Simpsonville, Green Charter Simpsonville, that keeps messing me up. And Green Charter High, they applied last year, but due to some, miscommunication, they weren't approved, but this year they were. So on July 29th, the city of Mauldin was informed that it officially received the fiscal year 2025-2026 school resource officer program in the amount of $775,457. Grant covers SROs at a number of the, all the Greenville County schools within our jurisdiction, and the South Carolina, and several schools from the South Carolina Public Charter School System. While we've received this grant in previous years for area, schools, public schools, this is the first time it's been received for public charter schools, Green Charter Simpsonville and Green Charter High. The grant is funding 100% of the cost of expanding SRO coverage to the Greenville, covers to the Green Charter schools in Mauldin, including personnel expenses, equipment, and capital. So all their equipment that they'll be getting will be brand new. As part of the grant award, the city is required to enter into agreement with Green Charter, similar to the agreement of Green Charter school staff. We pretty much mirrored the Greenville County School District, agreement with that for Greenville, Green Charter School. The modification stipulates that in the event state funding for the SRO program at Green Charter Schools is suspended, revoked, or terminated, if Green Charter assumes, if the Green Charter wants to keep SROs in the program, they're going to have to pay 100% of the financial responsibility. Due to the nature of the grant and at the request of South Carolina Department of Public Safety, the agreement was required to be, returned to SCDPS, Department of Public Safety, by August 28th. Agreement was authorized by the mayor, city administrator, and chief of police, as well as by Green Charter before the deadline. This was done upon the understanding that council authorized the SRO grant program as part of the fiscal year 25-26 budget and approved the SRO agreement with Greenville County School District. Though staff believe that proper authorization was provided to move forward with the grant, council approval of the agreement is requested at this time to ensure council's full understanding of the program, and because fiscal year 25-26 budget amendment will not take place until May of 26. So I'll break a little bit down for you back here. The physical impact, the city budget the city's fiscal year 25-26 budget anticipated a grant award of $309,000. However, the city will be receiving or reimbursed $775,457 for the program. Staff will include this budget adjustment in the fiscal year 25-26 budget amendment later on in the fiscal year. Grant award will cover personnel and equipment costs of the existing SRO grant-funded officers at Bethel Elementary, Mauldin Elementary, and the Golden Stroke Career Center, Technology Center, and provide funding for personal equipment, capital for officers placed at Green Charter, Simpsonville, and High School, Greenville, both within the city of Mauldin. Like I say, state's gonna reimburse us the money for for what we spend with SROs, and also the charter schools are gonna provide offices for the SROs, just like they have in the school district schools. And staff recommends council approval of the agreement as prescribed. And there's also a copy of the agreement.
And for clarity, most of you already realize, but this is more of a housekeeping kind of thing that mirrors the agreement that we passed last month for the Greenville County school resource officers. And so we just need to tidy it up for transparency purposes and include the Green Charter as well.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to forward to full council for approval, the agreement for the school resource officer program with Green Charter school for the year 2025 and to 2026 and beyond.
A motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Anything need to be clarified? Hearing none, then all those in favor of forwarding the school resource officer grant in agreement with Green Charter to full council, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Chief, for that update. You get to hold tight and move on to the next item, mutual aid agreement with Clemson University Police Department.
Yes, this is basically a renewal year to year. I'm gonna get with Clemson and see if there's not any changes, if we can just keep it as a reoccurring contract. Basically, the request is to approve the mutual aid agreement with Clemson University Police Department to assist with event security and other activities. We've been supporting Clemson as well as other agencies in the upstate and throughout the state for 18 years. During this time, we built a great relationship with them. Whenever they have classes, stuff, they automatically sending us stuff for the classes. This year, the findings are this year CUPD or Clemson University Police Department is requesting to codify this relationship into a mutual agreement with participating jurisdictions as specifically outlined duties, responsibilities, compensation terms, and more. This agreement mirrors many of the paid agreements in place. This does not change the nature of our participation, and Clemson University Police Department will be paying for the officers' time while engaged in activities. Physical impact. Sure.
No.
Well, I've been saying Greer.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to forward to full council the mutual aid agreement with Clemson University Police Department.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Questions? The only question I have, Chief, is I know we renew this agreement annually as we do a lot of our mutual aid, but in the packet that we have, it states that the duration shall be continuous and remain into effect until terminated.
Oh, okay.
That's back on page 25. And I just looked for that just because I know we did a mutual agreement recently that we don't have to renew every single year. So is that going to be the case with this one
I
or?
must have missed that. That's what it appears.
And because as these mutual aids, they're kind of set in perpetuity. And
No, I'm 100% for it.
Yeah,
I
and
just
the
wanted to
outlines
make
just-
sure.
Usually they change once a police chief or a sheriff changes.
Okay.
They renew them at that point. So, but like I say, they just kept doing it every year.
I mean, we've had this agreement for many, many years, so. All right, any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of forwarding the mutual aid agreement with Clemson University Police Department to full council, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, motion carries unanimously. All right.
Dabo appreciates that.
Who does this one?
Say Dabo, he
Oh,
appreciates.
Dabo appreciates that. I used to work those games back in the day, believe it or not.
I worked, I'm too old. to put down.
DOR. Anyway. All right.
It gets crazy.
That's all I've got.
Thank you. Okay, the last thing on our new business is with Judge Dorado for a part-time administrative judge appointment.
Hi, good evening again. What I have before you is the request to move to full council to appoint the Honorable Judge Jonathan Smith as a part-time administrative judge for the city of Mauldin. As you know, we have several appointed part-time judges who rotate on the weekend basis, handling the signing of warrants and executing any bonds. These judges are paid on a set per diem rate allotted for in our department budget, and they only get paid for the days they are scheduled. They're per diem. As that part-time administrative judge position became vacant while we hired Judge White full-time, we need a replacement to fill that role. So we had posted that job, and Judge Jonathan Smith, who is already a certified municipal judge, he applied and was interviewed. He currently holds positions with the city of Simpsonville and Travelers in the same capacity, so he does rotating work for them. It is our belief that he would be an asset to the judicial department, currently lives in Greenville and is in good standing with the SC Court Administration and the SC Bar. So there is no fiscal impact as our budget already is a per diem financial obligation for the position. So it's my recommendation to move to full council the appointment of Judge Smith to the part-time administrative judge role.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion to forward to full council the appointment of the Honorable Jonathan Smith, part-time administrative judge for the city of Malden.
Motion, do I have a second?
I kind of want to amend it so that we call him the Kentucky Colonel, Jonathan D. Smith, but I will just second it.
I was gonna go with Highway to Heaven. That's just another.
Any questions or concerns? I'm gonna pass on that real quick while we can. Y'all smiling and nodding. All those in favor of forwarding to full council the recommendation to appoint Jonathan Smith as part-time administrative judge with the expiration of a 2-year appointment term through the expiration of a 2-year appointment term, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
You.
All right, thank you. Again, it's good to see you back. Public comment? Seeing none. Committee concerns? All right, what do we have on adjournment?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Okay, we stand adjourned at 7:04.